A country getaway to reconnect with nature is something I recommend everybody does at least every couple of years. And sure, camping can be fun, but why go camping when you can go glamping? Now, glamping has become very on trend over the years, especially with the popularity of global nomads and their boho social media photo dumps. Here in Australia, glamping has only just started becoming a thing with a few unique options slowly opening up, mainly on the East Coast. It has literally taken me a few years to find a spot that looked both inviting and luxurious and up to my standards. So, 3 things that drew me to Sanctuary at Sirromet Wines. Number 1, you just can't be glamping in an air-conditioned tent with a queen-size bed and with comfy pillows and a doona. Number 2, it has its own attached ensuite with electricity, plumbing, and running water. And number 3, the cherry on the cake is that it is located at a winery. Yum! Let's check out some online reviews. Hi there, my countryside cruisers. I hope you are doing magnificently. Thank you for checking out RedLightGreenLight Reviews. It's Ryan here with another hotel review, and this time we are glamping it up at Sanctuary by Sirromet Wines. As always with my stays, they are incognito so as not to influence the experience during my stay. So, will it get the red light or the green light? Stay tuned for the verdict. Come with me and let's check it out. Mount Cotton is just 30 minutes out of Brisbane, and while I never heard of it, I was very surprised that Queensland actually had wineries this close to Brisbane, especially when it's known as the Sunshine State. Having very recently stayed at Mitchelton Hotel in Nagambie, a comparison between the two was definitely hard to avoid. The drive to Mount Cotton is a little different to driving to Nagambie, as it was largely through outer suburban townships. Then again, it's just half an hour away from Brisbane City rather than 19 minutes. Do check out my review of the Mitchelton Hotel Nagambie. Upon arrival at the winery, there's a more distinct porte-cochere for dropping off people. However, that's actually the entry to the restaurant. The reception is located adjacent to this behind a small door that closes back on you and up a small flight of stairs. The reception is much what you will find at a bed and breakfast with just a small counter, and it isn't quite as fancy as the reception at the Mitchelton Hotel, nor is there any seating if you have to wait for your people or your ride. Getting to the glamping tents is a bit of a walk, so it was fortunate that we had a car, as it is about 150 meters from the reception. There is clear signage to the cabins, which are located behind a boom gate, so you get some sense of security since the property has no after-hours on-site crew. These glamping tents are more like cabins and are located on a medium-grade slope. They appeared a lot further apart than had been described in some online reviews. Compared to some Big Four type parks, these tents did seem to have adequate privacy from one another, although you would definitely see your neighbors when you're on your front deck. The raised deck up a flight of stairs gives the cabin a raised outlook, a little bit like being in a treehouse. The cabin's decor is safari expedition inspired with metal reading lamps, solid timber floors, an entry table, and a couple of armchairs. No holiday would be complete without air conditioning. The back wall of the cabin acts as the bed head, and on the other side is the kitchenette, the wardrobe, and they face the ensuite. Our cabin had a queen-size bed and it was super comfortable, even better than many hotels that I have stayed in. I'm looking at you, Swiss Hotels Singapore. The package I purchased from Luxury Escapes came with a bottle of house wine, but what we actually received was 2 bottles of sparkling wine. The kitchenette also comes with a great variety of snacks, teas, and most importantly, a coffee capsule machine. The ensuite looks like nothing one would expect from a glamping tent setup. It is modern, bright and clean. It's got 3 fixtures with an openable window, a rainfall shower, and is fully tiled. Much nicer than some homes or apartments. Dinner is served at the Tuscan Terrace, and the ambience here is pretty, but not quite as elegant as that of the Mitchelton Hotel Muse restaurant. The food was, however, equally as delicious. The Luxury Escapes package included midweek breakfast in the form of a delightful picnic basket containing an enormous spread and was well designed to fill you up. This was delivered to the cabin for dining on the deck. On the weekend, breakfast is instead offered at the Tuscan Terrace with hot meals cooked to order. The cellar door is at the base of the tower and opens up to a terrace great for gathering if you have a wedding or other type of event. There's also a little store here, so don't forget to check that out. The Luxury Escapes package also included an antipasto plate to share with the wine tasting, so do look out for the wine specials at the winery store as well. Wine tasting is just $15 per head. Now the view from the tower lookout isn't as breathtaking as that of the Mitchelton, but it still gives you a great vista across the property, and I do love the display of all the Day on the Green posters that line the tower's stairwell. Interestingly though, there are 2 EV charging stations on site, 2 thumbs up, and a kids playground adjacent to the large sloping lawn where they hold music festivals and concerts. So, let's take a look at some opportunities. When compared to the Mitchelton, this winery, while pretty, is rough around the edges. Some reviewers advise not staying in cabin 1 because of the water purification tanks adjacent to the site, and it wasn't the best site and is definitely also a little noisy. The lagoon on the lake also doesn't give a proper walking route due to possibility of flooding. But there's a great spot that's perfect for a picturesque wedding. If you're planning a wedding, do consider Sirromet. The biggest opportunity is with the Tuscan Terrace. Much of it looks like an afterthought with surface areas that are haphazard storage nooks, and everything just seems to be on show and unsightly. Not quite the romantic and classy ambience you'd expect. A little bit more RSL beer garden. So for the final verdict, despite the lack of giving a fine dining experience and having a reception that doesn't feel 5-star, the cabins are divine. And I would even buy into one as a holiday home in a heartbeat if there was a chance to buy one of them. I do give Sanctuary by Sirromet a green light. Do make sure to call and ask if there are any music festivals or concerts prior to booking, just so you are not caught up with the crowds, especially if you're getting to the country just to get away from the crowds. I hope you have enjoyed this review of Sanctuary by Sirromet. This is another Red Light Green Light Reviews. Subscribe below so as not to miss out on any updates. Comment below as well. I want to know what your own experience if you've stayed here before. And your comments might even make it on the next video. Do tell us which hotel or resort you would like me to review next, and I will give you a shout out. Happy travels, fellow adventurers, and remember, tread lightly, especially when traveling to a foreign country.